Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, and I'm gonna show y'all how my client came from this to this. So first thing first, what I did was I did her a pedicure and I cleaned up the nail as much as I can. As you can see, her toenails are very damaged, and that comes from, I'm gonna be honest, it comes from going to the chop shop and they not knowing what to do. They just put acrylic on your toenails. The toenails be super thick. They use bad monomer and they use a nail tip. They don't know what they're doing and they put it on your toenails. And you walk around like that and you don't understand that it's damaging your toenails. When you get acrylic done the correct way, this does not happen. So once I'm done cleaning it up, I'm going to use my young nail swipe and clean up the nails, dust it off, make sure I have no dust on the nail. And before I put my young nail protein bond, you want to make sure the nails get back ashy. So you're going to see me kind of like fanning it out to make sure it get back that ashiness that I need it to be. So basically you want to make sure the nail gets back dry, very dry, before you put the young nail protein bond. You're gonna apply the protein bond 2 times onto the nail bed. And I already know once y'all see this, people gonna be in the comments talking all that crap, blah blah blah, don't do this, don't do that. I don't want to hear it. To be honest, if this was you, you wouldn't want to walk around with no toenail at all. Don't nobody, no man want to lay next to you like that with no toenail on your feet. Like, that's embarrassing. Don't nobody feel comfortable to be like, okay, I'm gonna wear my sandals out with my toes like that. No. Okay, so I'm using Young Nail Speed Clear, and what I do is I place the acrylic where the nail should have been. So that space where she don't have a nail is where you're gonna start, and you're gonna basically build your way up until a nail. So I use Young Nails monomer and I add like 2 or 3 drops of acetone into my monomer, so that way my monomer is not so runny. I mean my acrylic is not so runny, and I can control the acrylic. You want to make sure you have full control of the acrylic, so that way you can mold it and shape the acrylic where you want it to be. So now for the cuticle bead, you're going to place the cuticle bead the same way you would place it when you're doing any other acrylic toes or acrylic on your hands. You want to make sure you do not place the bead where it's going to flood the cuticle, because you do not want to flood the cuticle area, because that can cause lifting. And most of the time, the reason why people have this damage of nail beds is because they can go to the Chinese spot, like I said, and I'm not gonna say Chinese people because it's not only Chinese people. It can be anybody. It could be a black owned nail tech. It can be a Spanish. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter about the race. It's just about the actual nail that you're doing. You can go to anybody and they could fuck your feet up. I'm gonna just be like that. I'm gonna be honest. They can mess you up and it gets to the point where you're damaged, just like this. For this type of nail bed, this is not any acrylic toes. This is literally a reconstruction. Like, you really restarting their entire feet. Like, you're doing it all over. Like, you're creating them a nail off of nothing. If you do not know how to do this, I do not recommend you just say, okay, I'm going to do reconstruction toes. No, you have to practice. You have to know what you're doing in order to do this, because you can mess up the person even more than what their damaged toe is. So if you do not know how to do reconstructions, don't try to go do it. So for the first foot, I only had to do it on the big toe. These first 3 toenails are damaged as well, and I really don't know what been chewing on her. Like, I don't know, like, what happened. But like I said, it could happen to anybody if you do not know what you're doing when it comes to acrylic toes. You can damage your client or yourself. So I did recommend like a foot cream for my client to use. I do have another client where she do not use it. She don't have acrylic on her toes at all. She never ever did acrylic toes. She just diabetic, and her toenails are damaged. Like, they're growing opposite ways. It's just crazy. So it's just foot cream that I recommend that she use. It's off Amazon. I can't remember the name right now, but it's on Amazon. But I recommend that she use it like twice a day. But in this case, my client, I recommend it to her too, but she like, I don't want to walk around like this. Cause to be honest, don't nobody want to walk around with their toenail like that. So that's kind of hard for people to be like, okay, but either I'm going to sacrifice and wear my feet out for 2 weeks with this cream, or I'm just going to put acrylic over it. And it's just going to be just that. So for this toenail, I'm going to do the same thing. I place the bead where it's literally no nail, and I just create the nail, pat it down, and just work my way with the acrylic. That toe separator, I had to take it off because it was annoying. I couldn't grip her feet the way I wanted to, so I had to take it off. If you're going to start wearing acrylic toes for yourself, one, I do not recommend acrylic toes for anybody that wear boots a lot, like for work. I don't recommend it if you do not know how to keep up with the maintenance of your feet. You have to do your part as the client and get your feet done every 3 weeks, meaning not just, oh, I'm going to put this acrylic on. No, you need to get a pedicure. You need to get your toes clean. You need to make sure you're not ripping the acrylic toenails off. A lot of times, I be having people say, oh, acrylic toes damage your toenails. It damages your toenails. It's the way you're either applying it or taking it off. And majority of the time, it could be you that's literally damaging your own toenail. Like, you're literally sitting there ripping the acrylic off. You're not supposed to rip it off. Soak it off the same way you do with your nails. And another thing, nail techs are not supposed to rip your toenails off, like cut ingrown nails. No, you need to go to a doctor for that. And people don't understand. Nail techs are not licensed to do that. We're not licensed to sit there and take ingrown nails out of people's toes. You got to go to a doctor. You cannot just go to anybody to do that, because once they cut it the wrong way, you're done. Like, your toenail may never ever grow back. And sometimes, like in this case, your toenails do not grow back and you're just stuck with a half a toenail. A lot of times people think, oh, I have an ingrown nail, let's take it off, take it off, take it off. But it's really not even an ingrown toenail. It can be just like dead skin that's, stuck underneath your toenails, and you just need to get it cleaned out. We can clean underneath your toenails, but we cannot clip off ingrown toes. No, we're not supposed to do that at all. Okay, so these are the rules to acrylic toes. If you're going to get acrylic toes, make sure you're not bumping your feet into any and everything. Make sure you do not put a nail tip on your feet. Only do acrylic overlay, or if you're going to do polygel, make sure it's an overlay. No tips on toes. Another thing, I would say, when it comes down to acrylic toes is the maintenance. We talked about that earlier. You're gonna get your toes done every 3 weeks. You only should be doing one refill on your acrylic toes. And please, when you're if you're a client doing it, going to go get acrylic toes, or you're a nail tech going to get acrylic toes, anybody, make sure you go to somebody that knows what they're doing. Do not go to somebody that like you don't know for sure if they know what they're doing. You know somebody knows what they're doing when you look at their work. You follow them, you study their work. You constantly keep on looking at what they're doing from start to finish. If you go to somebody that do acrylic toes, they're gonna show you the videos from start to finish. Well, most of the people I follow that do acrylic toes, they're constantly posting their content. So they're posting, when they're placing the acrylic down, and you can tell, okay, they placing the acrylic down, there's no nail tip. You can tell that they're taking their time to shape the nail and everything. So go to somebody that you know knows what they're doing. So before I file, I like to make sure I separate the skin from the acrylic so I can be able to get underneath the nail without cutting my client. So that's very important. Make sure you have the acrylic laid down correctly, where you can have the space to put your drill under the bit underneath the nail to thin it down. It's a must that you make sure you're not leaving your client with a thick old nail. To be honest, you want it to look the same as, well, it's not even gonna really look the same as the other toes, because of course I had to build the nail from no nail at all. But I do it as thin as possible. Make sure you drill it very good. If you gotta stop, drill nut some more. Just make sure it's very flat and thin. So I'm going to use my cuticle bit, this bit here. I love doing acrylic toes with this bit because I'm able to really get underneath the nail and around the cuticle area to seal the acrylic. If you are interested in this bit, it is on my Amazon storefront. The link will be listed down in the description. once I'm done with everything, I'm going to spray alcohol on the nails, clean it off, and then go in with my Madam Glam base coat. So the gel polish I'm using is from Rosalind, and it's color C005. And you can find these polishes off Amazon. It will be linked down below in my description. And I can really say, if you're looking for an affordable gel polish, go and check them out. It's not a lot of good gel polishes that I can say that's on Amazon that can come fast shipping and, you know, very affordable. You're paying like $8, $9 or $11 for 6 gel polishes. I feel like that's not bad, especially if you're a beginner. So go ahead and check them out. So once I let it cure for 60 seconds, I'm going to go in with a second coat. So this is the final look once I'm done with everything. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and don't forget to leave a comment. Bye.